What is your career?
First of all, my name is Ludas. I'm 38 years old. Career-wise, I do music, videos, and film. That's what I'm into. I do production, I write music, and I also write scripts. Career-wise, this is what I do for a living.
What challenges did you face growing up?
First of all, coming here, I came to the United States in '95. Didn't speak a word of English, believe it or not. So I was 18 at the time. So the first challenge was to understand the language, how to speak it. Because what I used to do is I used to think in my native language, which is Creole, and try to translate that into English to communicate. And it doesn't work that way because it's a whole different way of thinking. So that was the first challenge, to be able to actually think as an American and think in English, to be able to translate and think about what I want to say and how to say it so people can understand me, because it was a different culture. So that was the biggest shock for me, to come from Haiti, from Haitian culture to American culture, and be able to speak the language. That was the first big challenge. Now towards getting to my career, everything is in English when it comes to learning how to do music, the technical words, everything else is in English. So that was the first challenge, to be able to master the language and be able to convey what I want to say, whether it's in the film, music, or whatever it might be.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, I'll be 48. Hopefully married with some kids. Career-wise, my goal is in 3 ways. I've always said it, because I work for the Salvation Army, and I've been actually raising generations since about 3, and even though I'm only 38. It's always been what influences kids nowadays. It's usually either through video games, television, or music. So my goal 10 years from now is to be able to influence these 3 mediums, these 3 areas in a way where I could influence what kids listen to as far as music, what kind of video games they play, and what kind of movies or TV shows they watch. Because that's mostly what's influencing people's thinking and their mindset nowadays. So 10 years from now, hopefully I could do that.
Okay. What obstacles impacted your life?
What impacted my life? Okay, traveling is one of the main things that really impacted my life. The fact that my parents were missionaries for the Salvation Army, we traveled a lot. So I lived most of my life outside of Haiti. And what it does is it opened my mind to other people's ways of life, understanding more how to connect with new people, to be able to be comfortable in a completely different and foreign environment. Even though if I get dropped somewhere where I don't even understand what the people are doing, because I travel so much, I'm able to just sit there and absorb, not be offended very easily, not prejudge, because I've seen so many different cultures, so many different ways. I'm very, I don't really quickly judge what I see going on. So that was one of the main things that helped influence. What was the other part of the question?
What obstacles impacted your life?
When I was about, I must have been 12. Yeah, 12. 3 things happened. I was getting out of a plane, and I fell from the escalator all the way from up, all the way down to the floor. So I pretty much rolled down the steps. It was raining, it was kind of slippery, and I definitely lost consciousness, but I almost lost one of my ears. That's first. And I connect why they impacted my life the same way. The next thing was, for whatever reason, they told me something attacked my eyes and I wouldn't be able to see, so they prescribed me some glasses. It was against the UV rays of the sun or whatever, and if I didn't wear it, I was supposedly go blind. That's what they told me. Next thing was tonsils that got removed. And I also had water in my lungs. All of it between the age of 10 to 13. I had water in my lungs. So they told me they had to operate and put a needle in there and suck the water out. And the reason why these impacted my life the most, everything I'm trying to do now, when it comes to music, video games, and movies, they had to do with all these different organs. My ears, my eyes, vocal cords, and being able to breathe. So when I realized all these things were connected, it just made me realize there's an importance to that, and it made me focus on what I'm supposed to do. I never wore the glasses, never needed them after that. The lungs never got operated on. The water came in and went. The ear was fine, I hear perfectly. So those things, as I was growing up knowing that when my parents were telling me the story, that there's a purpose for me being here. There's a purpose of why I'm so driven into music, visual arts, and the stuff you listen to. There's a reason why. I guess that's why it's connected to why my eyes, ears, and lungs were spared. So that impacted me a lot.
Thank you. We'll now move on to Crystal.
For the audience, would you rather have money without the fame or power?
Money without the fame or power?
power because, I mean, I could buy whatever I want. I mean, I don't really need to be famous to do that.
But isn't having money, doesn't that give you power? It is a form of power.
But like power as in you can control anybody. Like the money can only take some power. If you have power, everybody like believe you and like.
But the people who have the money right now control us whether we realize it or, want to admit it or not. We are being controlled in one way or the other. Because you have to clock in, well, you don't, well, I have to clock in every day. That is a form of control. Because if I don't go, I don't get paid. So it's control.
Okay, if someone gave you $10,000, what would you spend it on? College? Anybody else?
Down payment on a house.
Oh, my house. Just pay it off. So,
Yeah, you could put a down payment.
I don't think I'll buy anything, I'll just say,
I'll give some to charity and save the rest.
If you could invest in any company, designer, brand, what brand would you invest in? I would invest in like McDonald's. Because they always around. People always do fast food.
I would do black owned. Black owned with a purpose, not just black owned because they're black. Black owned that's really giving back to the community and, producing something of worth. That's what I would invest my money in.
I would do Gucci.
Gucci. What would you invest your money in?
I'm not sure. It's a lot.
Gold and diamonds are always good.
Yeah, you can invest
Okay,
What did he say? I didn't hear him.
he would invest in himself.
Oh, of course. That's the best.
Okay, next question. If you could have any question answered, what would it be? Mine would be, is there life on planets outside this galaxy? Or life in galaxy? I don't
Or
know.
are there other galaxies?
What happens after that?
Doesn't anybody want to know like their purpose on this earth? Why are we here?
I mean, because
Yeah.
you're here, you got a purpose, but I don't know.
But what is the purpose? Are we here because we have a purpose? Or are we here because it was just something to be done?
You here, so you might as well make purpose to your life.
That's true. That's one way of seeing it.
My question would be, why can't we see our future before we do something?
We wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Please, you wouldn't
I
like
think
us up.
I think seeing the future would limit us. Either negatively or positively, it would just limit us. Or actually, if you can see the future, let's say if I know I do something and I'm going to get away with it, then I'm going to become malicious and keep doing it because I know I can get away with it. But then if I know I'm going to do something and then I might fail, I'm not even going to try because, I might fail. But trying is, part of the process. It's just as good as achieving, sometimes even, better because you did it on your own. You know what you did. You can teach somebody, help somebody else. But I think if we know, it's just going to limit us. We're going to just become stagnant where we are. That's it.
If you could go back in time, where would you go? Or what age would you be?
10, because I have the most fun. 5th grade.
You go back where? Birth? From birth? Let me see. I think I'd go from 3. Because I remember my mom and my dad had, I don't know, what in a 3-year-old mind seemed like, almost like World War III, with the yelling and the screaming and the slamming of doors and throwing papers around. It looked like a mess. Now that I'm looking back, it really wasn't that bad, but I was 3. And I had never witnessed something like that before. And my dad pulled me aside and he's like, Mom and Dad are getting a divorce. Who do you want to live with? Like, what do you mean? Because you're 3, you don't know those things. I had never been exposed to anything like that. So I was like, what do you mean, who do I want to live with? Aren't we supposed to all be, together? But whether at that time I didn't realize it, but it did have an impact on my life. And him not being, father figure in my life, I did let it probably, for lack of better terms, pull me down the wrong road. But I think now what I know, if I could go back, that's where I would go. That would be my beginning, because I would take whatever that happened and shift it in a positive way and not let it affect me so deeply. That's right.
Okay, if you could visit any country, where would you go?
Egypt.
Yes, that's right. To the Mecca.
I want to go to Qatar.
To where?
Qatar.
Anybody else want to travel the world?
I would want to go to Afghanistan. I would love to go there, like,
Well, my cousin, she went there. She's been there about 3, maybe 4 times for about 6 months at a time. And I mean, it's bad because of the war, but outside of that, it's a beautiful place. She said it's not as bad as the media is making it. It's just like anywhere. That's good and bad. You obey the laws, you follow the rules, and that's it. Well, let me not get into that, but you know what I mean. It's not as bad as they're portraying it on TV.
There's a good movie now on Netflix called Rock the Castle, and it talks about Afghanistan and what it's like if you went over there right now as just a civilian, what it would be like.
wait, rock the castle.
Rock the Castle, yeah.
Kasbaa.
Is it still in theaters or is it on
It's
TV?
in Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. It's got Bill Murray in it.
Mm-hmm.
What's something you could invent and why?
Wait, repeat it again?
What's something you could invent and why?
Could you bet?
Yeah, invent.
I don't know if I'm gonna explain it right, but when you write something on a paper and you have to translate it digitally, I would invent something where you could take a picture of it and translate it digitally for you.
Isn't that exist already though? I think so.
That's where?
I think they have something like that
Is that
already.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Some of them do.
But that's a good idea.
The fact that you didn't know now you had an idea.
See? You thought of it all by yourself. Go ahead, girl.
Anybody else?
I would say what I would want to invent, but something you guys have to learn when you tell people about what you want to invent, and if it's really a great idea, you should not share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a way people can steal it and make it their own, and we'll talk about that different time. But as far as an idea that you think that's not out there, write it down, but don't share it with just everybody.
Get a what is it? The patent pending
Copyright.
copyright first.
Yeah, patent is really, really difficult to get because you have to pay a lot of money to get it. And there's just 2 kinds. Patent means that you're the one who owns it, you created it, and other people who want to actually use it have to pay you to either make it. But it costs a lot of money to make. There's 2 different kinds of patents. So what you want to do first is write it down, the way you would do that invention, and copyright it. That's the first step. Patent is very expensive.
I wish I
There's utility patent, which means what the thing you're going to invent, what it does, and then the design patent and what it looks like. What it looks like is less expensive. You're talking about maybe 6,000 to 10,000. And beyond that, it could go up to all the way to 50,000, depending on what the invention is. Yeah.
I would invent something that could, that would stop human beings from being violent.
Yes.
So there's an anime called Princess Mononoke, and in this anime, it starts out with like an amoeba, and then the amoeba is violent, and then the amoeba gets in this being, and then the being, say, could be a pig, and then the pig bites a person, and then the person becomes violent and attacks someone else, and then the violence spreads. So that's why in medicine they call, if someone shoots someone else, they call it an epidemic. If it's happening like it's happening in Chicago, you know, then it's an epidemic because it spreads. So I would invent something that you could take that would make it so that you would not be able to commit violence.
It's funny, I was just going to say something like that. Mine was going to be called a personality adjustment machine, where you take certain individuals, you put them through a machine, there's a couple of dials, you're like, okay, you need to go through this machine, and then, you know, like attitude, like, you know, you just can adjust all the different dials, and then they come out like, yeah, I'm good, all right, how are you? I'm happy, I'm kind today, I'm, you know, whatever that person needs to be, yeah. But I don't know if that could have.
But you know what? Who would be in control of that?
Yeah, that's the bad
That would
part.
be the
That's
bad
true.
part.
That's true.
Everybody would have to take it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Not everybody.
if everybody didn't take it.
It's like, you know, there's some people that need some adjustments. You know,
Yeah.
little things, just, you know, attitude and some
Some
other
need more
little
than
things.
others.
Okay, next question. Why are we likely to be critical of how others look?
You know what?
I think it's because you always hear your first impression is the last impression, so I think it's just based off that.
I think a lot of times it has nothing to do with the impression. A lot of times it comes from people who have their, you know, self-issues, and they feel like the only way that they can rise is by crushing someone else. We all know of, you know, a friend or a relative that's like that, and it may not be so apparent at first, but if you really sit down and you think about it, like Uncle so-and-so always has something negative to say. It could be the, you know, the smallest thing, but he's always being negative about a person or an event or something like that, and it has something to do with them sometimes. And then the second part, I think, is because I think it's inbred. You know, it's like, I don't know how to say this, but it's like you're trained to be that way. And it's been going on from generation to generation, and it keeps going on. Like you're born and you hear your mom or your auntie, they're always gossiping and talking about it, so you automatically start doing it. And then you start doing it, then your kids, and so on and so on.
I think some of it is like ego, because like some people genuinely feel better than other people, so like it's this standard and this criteria you have to fit for certain people, and like when you don't fit that criteria, they feel like they can make fun of you because you aren't quote unquote as good as they are. I feel like that's where a lot of it comes from.
Yeah, at the core, it's because that individual is self-conscious about themselves. So in order for them to feel better about themselves, they have to make you feel lower.
It's called insecurity.
Yeah.
Why do you think other generations that don't like understand another generation?
Other generation gap.
Yeah, can you repeat it?
Why do you think other generations don't understand like the next generation? Like how they